Everything you think you know about ghosting is a lie. You've been told it's about cowardice. You've been told it's about laziness. You've been told that people who disappear when life gets heavy are just weak. But you're smarter than that. You've seen the patterns. You've felt that strange magnetic pull of the void yourself, haven't you? People don't vanish because they can't handle the work. They vanish because they've realized something you're not supposed to know. Most people live their lives like NPCs, grinding through the chaos without a second thought. But you observe, you analyze, and that's why you're here. Because you've sensed that disappearing isn't a failure of character. It's a sophisticated, albeit brutal, psychological defense mechanism. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to understand the dark chemistry of the vanishing act, and why the most together people are often the first to delete their accounts and drop off the map. Let's talk about you for a second. You're likely the reliable one, the one who notices the shift in the room before anyone else. You've got a high emotional IQ. That's why this bothers you. You see someone drop out of life, a friend, a partner, a colleague, and you don't just get angry. You get curious. Most people call it running away. I call it the internal circuit breaker. Think about a high-end mansion. It's got the best tech, the brightest lights, the most complex systems, but what happens when the power grid gets hit by a massive surge? The fuses blow on purpose. The lights go out to save the house from burning down. When life gets hard, most people just suffer through it. They're like old, cheap shacks with no wiring. They just sit there and take the hit. But the people who disappear? They have complex internal systems. They are high-performance machines. And when the voltage of reality gets too high, their brain shuts the doors. It's not a glitch. It's a feature. Here is where it gets uncomfortable. The people who vanish aren't the ones who don't care. It's the opposite. They care so much it's literally killing them. You've probably noticed that the person who disappears is often the person who seemed to have it all together. The golden child, the overachiever. They've built a brand, a persona. To the world, they are invincible. And because you're an intuitive person, you probably admired that about them. But here's the secret. That persona is a prison. When life hits them with something they can't control, debt, heartbreak, failure, the perfect version of them dies, and they can't let you see the corpse. They don't disappear because they hate you. They disappear because they can't stand the way you look at them when they aren't winning. They would rather be a mystery than a disappointment. Does that sound like weakness to you? Or does it sound like a desperate, lonely attempt to preserve the only thing they have left, their dignity? Let's go deeper. For someone with your level of awareness, you know that emotions aren't just feelings, they're data. The data driving the vanishing act is shame, not guilt. Guilt is, I did something bad. Shame is, I am bad. When life gets hard, these people don't just feel stressed. They feel fundamentally broken. They look at the hardship as a verdict on their soul. They think, if I were as smart as everyone thinks I am, I wouldn't be in this mess. So they enter the shame vortex. They stop answering texts because I'll respond when I have good news. But the good news never comes. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Now, the disappearing itself becomes a new source of shame. They are now the person who ghosted. They want to reach out. They want to come back. But the cost of entry is now too high. They'd have to explain. They'd have to apologize. They'd have to admit they weren't the God-tier human everyone thought they were, so they stay in the dark. It's easier to stay dead than to come back and admit you were just hiding. So, here is the point you've been waiting for. The truth that most people are too distracted to see. The people who disappear when life gets hard aren't trying to escape life. They are trying to escape themselves. They aren't running from the bills or the boss or the breakup. They are running from the version of themselves that failed to handle it. They disappear to find a place where they don't have to be anyone. The void is the only place where there are no expectations. It's a radical, self-destructive form of freedom. And here's the kicker. The reason you are watching this, the reason you relate to this, is because you recognize that impulse. You felt that moment where the phone vibrates and you feel a physical no in your entire body. You aren't like the others who judge. You're the one who understands that sometimes the only way to survive the fire is to step out of the room. So, the next time someone vanishes, or the next time you feel the urge to delete every app on your phone and move to a cabin in the woods, remember this. It's not because you're weak. It's because your system is too sensitive for a world this loud. You've lived in the lie that you owe everyone a front row seat to your struggle. You don't. But remember, the void is a great place to visit, but a terrible place to live. Don't stay gone so long that you forget how to be found. You're too smart to let your own defense mechanism become your coffin.